All right, thank you both. Our Dr. David Agus joins us now from Los Angeles with the bigger picture on the race to develop a vaccine. David, good morning. How promising is the news we just have from Dr. Hogue and Moderna?
It's a small step. So 2 shots and you can get antibody levels that we think may be protective. There's also the T cell part of immunity that wasn't described. So this is a beginning of the science here. It's a necessary step. I'm certainly glad that it did this, but there's a long way to go in that particular vaccine.
David, we heard the Health and Human Services Secretary, Alex Azar, say that the goal is to create 300 million doses of a vaccine and have it available by the end of the year. How likely is that?
I don't think it's likely that we're going to have 300 million doses of a vaccine at the end of the year. Remember, as a country, this took 2 doses. We just heard in the Moderna. We're going to need 600 million doses as a country. I think we'll have millions of doses by the end of the year. I think we'll be starting to vaccinate people who are the medical frontline individuals, as well as high-risk individuals. And potentially, if there are outbreaks in individual cities, we can start to vaccinate there to stop or to quell those outbreaks. I don't think we're going to have enough to start with the whole country at that time. While that's ongoing, more production will happen, and over the next year, we'll start to be vaccinating the rest of the country.
Right. Have we ever manufactured a vaccine on those quantities and that kind of a timeline?
No, I mean, if you think about it, most vaccines are synchronous. You vaccinate a child at age 2, age 3, age 12 for HPV, 65 for Pneumovax. And so we're used to making a certain amount at a time. This is making, obviously, enough to do 2 shots to the whole country is something that is heroic and very hard to organize, very hard to put together, as well as the production side.
So one of the other things that Secretary Azar said was that may need multiple vaccines and a booster shot. Explain that, if you would.
So in many vaccines, you get an initial shot and we call a booster, which means, like in this vaccine that Moderna just talked about, several weeks later, a second shot to really boost the immune system. And then coronavirus, classically, every year the immune system will go down to it. And so you may need to be boosted again on a yearly basis. So this may be an ongoing vaccine protocol for the country. And it may be different by age. If you're 30 years old, you probably will need 1 or 2 vaccines. You may need a lot more if you're elderly or very young, because those immune systems aren't as mature, don't respond as well to vaccines.
All right, Dr. David Agus. Thank you, David.